we're talking about him today. A character as synonymous to the franchise as Samus herself, Ridley plays a big role within the Metroid universe as being the head of the evil space pirates, and the hunter's personal arch-nemesis. Now that I think about it, this is probably one of the most ridiculous arch-enemy ideas in Nintendo history. Bowser's a big fire-breathing turtle. Ganondorf is a guy who can turn into a giant pig with swords. Black Shadow is basically the evil Batman from F-Zero. But Ridley? He's not just a dragon. He's a purple, fire and plasma breathing, space pterodactyl pirate dragon. They just had to come up with a crazy idea like this to give Samus something cool to fight in almost every game. You know, whenever I say that out loud, I usually imagine something different when I remember he's a pirate.
Ahoy there, mateys! A scallywagging lass be plundering our grand ship for a booty. She be wanting me goldy blues from me mother, and we shall...
Hey Ridley, it's me, Crocomire. I have simple questions. Why are you talking like this? Then, what are doubloons and, what are hooks?
Shut up, you stupid 8-eyed and 4-legged, single-game appearing, saggy, lame excuse for a mini-boss.
Hey, yeah, Captain, you tell that loser. We been in what? 8 games? He's been in what, 2?
Don't you patronize me, Kraid.
It's no secret that Ridley and his pirates have a huge hatred towards Samus for ruining all of their plans. But what's exactly the deal between the two of them? Not much is really explored within the games.
Thanks for nothing, Other Rem.
But we can fortunately learn a lot from reading the 2 Metroid mangas that were released back in 2004.
I will now take this opportunity to plug the Metroid database yet again.
The Orpheon is in no way sponsored by the Metroid database. The story starts when Ridley launched an attack on the space colony K2L to steal its precious resources. During the raid, a young Samus finds the pirate and attempts to befriend him, but obviously Ridley has a thirst for death and destruction. So he proceeds to attack Samus, who is instead saved by her mother Virginia, who dies in her place at the hands of the pirate, while her father Rodney sacrificed himself to create an explosion that will destroy the pirates alongside their leader. But of course, because we know he shows up later, Ridley manages to survive the blast and heal his wounds. From here, Samus is adopted by the Choso and taken to planet Seves, where she is given their DNA as well as her power suit. But I will leave the rest of the story for another time. For now, let's focus on Ridley's appearances within the games. Appearing since the original Metroid game, Ridley has cemented himself as being a core part of the series, making an appearance in almost every game, with the exceptions of Metroid 2, Metroid Prime 2, Prime Hunters, and Federation Force. I guess he has something against spin-offs in the number 2. This makes him the 3rd most recurring character in the series, after Samus and the Metroids. It's no surprise that so far the dragon hasn't had a chance to beat Samus in combat, so he usually ends up being destroyed and tends to return from the dead in a different form. He first starts off in his classic form in the NES game. You then meet his robot double Mecha Ridley in Zero Mission. He later returns as Cyborg Meta Ridley in Metroid Prime, who then comes back corrupted by Dark Samus' Phazon in Metroid Prime 3, before going another transformation into Omega Ridley later in the same game. In Super Metroid, he returns to his classic state, because bird magic, I guess. And after the destruction of Seves, he's revived in the form of a clone by the hands of the Federation. Genius, I know! Until he's killed by a Metroid off-screen and has his DNA absorbed by the X-Parasite on the BSL station, where he makes a return as the loudest thing in Game Boy history, Neo Ridley. I guess he can take the hint and stay as far away as possible from Samus. Interestingly, Ridley's iconic battle theme is the song that has seen the most appearances in the Metroid franchise, being present in 7 of the 12 games, including Prime Pinball. Yes, he makes an appearance in that game as a boss in the Choso Temple board. One of the main things that makes Ridley such an iconic villain is its perseverance, as he keeps returning to settle the score with Samus and finds new ways to spread destruction over the galaxy, as well as being one of the few characters to ever invoke fear into the Hunter. No, I'm not referring to the cutscene on Other End, but more of the psychological trauma he is able to inflict Samus in the Metroid manga. That is some heavy stuff. Moving outside of the Metroid series, Ridley has seen his fair share of trivia and cameos. It is very obvious that the Metroid franchise was inspired by the Alien film from 1979, and Ridley's design could have well been based in the xenomorph from the film, and his name could likely be a homage to the movie's director, Ridley Scott. Another fun fact about the dragon is that in almost all of his 2D appearances, his fireballs look awfully similar to the ones used by Mario in his classic 2D games. The The pirate has also found a way to sneak himself into every Smash game to date, even though he's still not a playable character.
Sakurai, please!
He's seen flying in the background of the Seba stage in Smash 64, he appears in the opening cutscene in Melee and also has his own trophy. In Brawl, you fight him in 2 separate occasions as a boss in the Subspace Emissary. And in Smash for Wii U, he is the boss of the Pyrosphere stage, as I went over in a previous video. Lastly, Ridley has also made a cameo appearance in Nintendo Land as a final boss for Metroid Blast, as well as a stage hazard in Dead or Alive Dimensions, and being featured in some installments of the Captain N comics. All in all, Ridley will forever be a major icon in the Metroid series. His thirst for galactic domination may never be quenched as long as Samus is there to stop him. But no matter how many times he tries to vanquish her arch nemesis, he will always find another way to return from the dead. So does Ridley have his own private collection of Phoenix Downs?
Like, people know us. They know Kraid, they know Ridley. They don't know Quagmire. Oh, come on, Kraid. You know what? You're not getting anything from Space Starbucks.